Hey guys, I just finished my welds. Now, I want to give you guys a tip. If you ever weld the motorcycle, preferably one that you don't want to get hot sparks all over, when you weld, the cinders coming off I used a MIG welder. The cinders coming off a MIG welder can burn your belt, your brake lines, electrical wire, burn into your pinnacle, burn the chrome. So what I did, this is a little tip for all y'all. I got a bunch of towels and I soaked them in a bucket of water. Because I was trying to think to myself, what can I cover the bike with? Because I don't want any cinders hitting anything. So I got a bunch of towels. I filled the bucket up with hot water. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold water, but because it's 30 degrees outside, so hot water is cool. So I soaked the crap out of the towels. I laid towels all over everything. Covered the gas tank. I covered the belt so then no hot cinders will burn my belt. I covered everything with wet towels. That's all from the towels. And I got my welds done. So that's something what it'll look like when my dye comes in. That's going to be a dark brown like the bag. That leather there, as well as the foot pegs and the front fork bag, it's going to be that dark brown. But let me show you guys the angle, man. The angle come out real nice. Now, once we get that down, what I'm thinking of doing with this is I'm thinking of putting like a flat plate underneath there with a bow on it. I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to try to engineer it into this somehow to where it's going to keep that pulled down like that. So that I don't have to have, sorry for the shaking. So I don't have to have my ties showing. That's what I'm going to try to do. If it doesn't work out, we'll just put the ties in. Okay, so I tightened that down just a bit for you guys. But see, that's the angle, man. It's a perfect angle. The springs here won't compress anymore. So this should, my seat shouldn't hit the, it's not going to hit the fender at all, so that's cool. It's actually a really nice stance. I love it. We'll lift her up. See, that lifts up far enough for me to access the battery. I'll take the seat off. I'll show you guys my welds. I'm not the best welder, but it works. All right, let me take that seat off, guys. Let me pause y'all for a sec. Okay, before I do, let's get a shot up front here. You know, the reason why I'm going with a dark brown with that, with the frame cover, I thought to myself, if I would have dyed that black, it would have made the seat look funny, like I'm trying to mix it in with the seat, you know. So that's why I figured to have a two-tone setup here, have dark brown and black, and the dark brown will match all the accessories on here. That's actually cool looking because you got that big ass 300mm rear tire with that tiny little seat. So that's going to actually make it look even sicker yet, even cooler yet. See what I mean? See how cool it's going to look? Got that great big ass tire in the back with that tiny little seat. That's what you want, man. You want people to look at that with that big ass tire and they're going to think, how the hell is that guy ride that with that tiny little seat? That's what you want people to think. Now these aren't, they're freshly welded. Like I said, guys, I'm not the best welder, man, but they work. And what we're going to do now is we're going to grind those down just a little bit with my Dremel tool. Then we'll dress up around the welds with some Bondo. And the reason why I want to do that is because that's going to show. The inside won't show, but the sides will show and the back will show. So we're gonna dress this up with my Dremel tool a little bit, and then we'll get some Bondo to make it look like a professional weld. But they're on there. I had trouble with my gun, and let me pause this. I'll give you guys another FYI about the MiG. Okay, what happened with my MiG, man, is I thought my wire feed roller was shot. Here, what had happened is when I took my wire feed focus, there we go. When I took that little wheel off, the 2 screws came right out that hold this. Hold that on. Hold on a minute, guys. Let me get this light situated. Alright, that's better. Yeah, when I unscrewed those 2 screws, this holds the wheel in place. They came right out here. This was real loose, because what happened was these 2 screws, they got stripped. So I started mussing around with it. I was ready to buy another welder. Then I put a little bit of, then I figured to myself, well, you know what? That's not putting enough pressure on the wheel. Even though this is tightened down as much as I can get it, it still wasn't, the wire wasn't getting fed through. It was getting fed through in spurts. And my welds were coming out in beads. So I put some pressure on this, and it feeds the wire like nobody's business. So that's why I got that block of wood pushing up on the wheel, because that's what turns that little knurl groove in there. That's what feeds your wire through the hose. And as you see, I also got an argon setup too in there. I can't feed it with argon, but I never got around to getting a tank. Maybe later on we'll get a TIG welder. That way I can weld aluminum. But this isn't a bad little. This is a Campbell and Hossfield. It's not a bad welder, I'll be honest with you. I had this for about 10 years. I mean, you know, for a MiG, it's good enough for what I need. But that's what the problem. But you know what? This works, and I'm gonna just leave it go. It welds real good. So okay, back to these. I know they're not pretty, guys, but trust me, man. They're on there. Because what I did is I welded the bolts to these mounts off of the bike. And then I ground these down. And you can see there's tiny 2 little holes in here for my clips to go through. Let me get the clips for you. I'll put a couple clips in. Okay, see, there's my clips. I also upgraded to the larger clips. And let me show you the clips that come with these mounts. Those are the clips that come with it. As you see, these are like, they're tiny, man. They're real tiny. So those are a lot bigger, and I welded them on so then the holes are facing the sides. That way when I want to take the seat, when I want to pull the seat up, just bam, bam. You just pull these guys right out. Seat lifts up so you can access the battery. Or you just take this bolt here out. Seat comes right off. Then you take the frame cover off and you can access everything. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to dress this up a little bit with the Dremel tool. Then we'll mix up like a little bit of Bondo. Put some Bondo in here. We'll sand this down first. And then I got to paint this, because we got to try to match the color. I think I have a metallic silver that's real close to this. Matter of fact, it might be right on. I have a Honda. The color I painted the frame on my, believe it or not, my frame on the Honda is also metallic silver. You know, I don't know how. I guess this bike here is destined to come to me. Both motorcycles I have, frames are metallic silver. And I'm pretty sure that's almost exactly, if not, it's like really, really close to this. It's a Honda metallic silver. It's real close to this. So we'll dress it up, we'll sand that down, we'll bond to it, and then we'll shoot this. And we'll paint this. You know what, maybe I'll paint this silver also. I'll hit this silver. Or you know what, this might look better. This might look better black in here that way. Because the bracket that goes in the seat's black. Alright guys. Tell me what you think, man. As you see, you can put a bobber seat on a big dog ridgeback.